learning target 13 is just like we've been doing with all the conic sections. So we started off by taking a conic section and taking an equation in standard form and graphing it, and then we had general form and we rewrote it and we graphed it. We did all those parabolas already. And so at the end, we would take a list of information and we'd write the equation. So same thing here for parabolas. Learning target 13 is just taking a list of information for a parabola and writing an equation. You need 3 things to write an equation for a parabola. You need to know if it's horizontal or vertical. You need to know the vertex. And you need to know what P is. Okay? Again, a reminder, P is the distance from the vertex to a focus, or
Vertex to the directrix.
Right, the vertex or the directrix. So you have that at your disposal. You also have this table from your notes that you get to use on the quiz. So I would advise that you be looking at that. That's what I'm going to be looking at when I'm doing these problems anyway. So for the first one, it says the vertex is at the origin. So I know the vertex. The focus is at 0, -4. If I graph this really quickly, 0, 0, and then 0, -4, it's vertical. And the focus is always inside the parabola. So I know it's opening downwards, which means P is going to be negative. Okay? Question so far? Now I actually need P to write the equation. So how far is the vertex from the focus?
4.
4. So then I know what P is. P is -4. And I can write the equation. So I've got all the information I need. I can just write it out. So for a vertical parabola, it says the equation should be x minus h squared equals 4 times P times y minus k. Well, that means I have x minus 0 squared equals 4 times -4 times y minus 0. And I could clean that up and make that nice equation, x squared equals -16y.
Do we need to have that last one, or can we leave it in the other?
You can leave it in the other form and it's still correct. Any questions about how I did the first example? Again, need the vertex, horizontal or vertical, and you need to know what P is. Any questions? All right. For the second one, it says the parabola passes through the point at 2, -1, has its vertex at -7,5, and opens to the right. If it opens to the right, does that mean it's horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. And is P going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
All right. So I know that it's horizontal. I know the vertex. I just don't know what P is. P is not the distance between the 2 points. P is, again, very specifically from the vertex to the focus or the vertex to the directrix. It mentions neither of those things here. It does tell us that it passes this specific point, though. So if you look at your, again, table, a horizontal parabola has the form y minus k squared equals 4 times P times x minus h. I have h and k. I also, in the problem, am given a point, x, y. So I have x and y. So I can substitute both points into the equation and solve for P, and then go back and write the equation once I have P. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so then I've got -1 minus 5 squared equals 4P times 2 minus -7, so that's plus 7. -1 minus 5 is -6. 2 plus 7 is 9. -6 squared is 36. 4 times 9, because you have 4 times P times 9, so 4 times 9 is also 36.
Oh my God.
I know P equals. How's that?
Yes, you can, sir.
P equals 1.
P equals 1, Cyrus. That's right. Okay, so P equals 1. That's not the answer to what they're asking us. They're asking us to write an equation, but we had to find P. Everyone clear on that? So you go back and you write the equation. When you write the equation, you leave the x and y out of it because you have to write an equation. Just like every other equation has y equals or x equals in it, you don't put the point into the equation for the actual equation. So I have y minus 5 squared equals 4 times 1 times x plus 7. You can leave it that way, or you can rewrite it so that you have just 4 instead of 4 times 1.
Just like last time, the homework when we're gonna have to like solve it and then on the vertex and all that stuff with graphics.
No, this is the opposite. You're given the information, you're just writing the equation, and you're stopped.
And then that's it.
Yep. On the last one, I want you to do the last one because it's very similar to the one I just picked out and did. But just some vocabulary issues real fast. Things to learn in Algebra 2. The last one says the parabola passes through the point at 5, 2, has a vertical axis, and has a minimum at 4, negative 3. What does the word minimum mean
Small with
in this context?
it's hard.
It's the lowest point. It's the vertex, and it's the lowest point. So from the word minimum, I know we've got the vertex, and I know that it's vertical and it opens upwards, just from the word minimum. So go ahead and do that last example, and then I'll show you the answer in a second.
What's the deal with this?
That means like vertical axis to symmetry. So it also confirms that you have a parabola that's vertical.
Oh.
So 4 negative 3 would be the HK.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
I think X is just vertical.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Son of a biscuit, you don't.
I got the math though.
Why would you lie to me? Like,
I haven't lied to you.
I said that it's whatever comes first is that, and then
I just wasn't listening. I was doing the problem up here.
it was like,
You would have learned from your mistake. I don't think so.
what is happening?
Why don't you just go back to the beginning there and start that over?
Okay. Did anybody else get 1 over 20? Yeah.
What is
Oh,
happening?
wow.
Oh,
Dude.
my goodness.
Dude, I broke it.
No, I messed up. I put the vertex in for X and Y, not the point that it has.
See, that'll do it.
That'll do.
But see, you learned from your mistake already.
That'll do, donkey.
I
That'll
make
do.
too many mistakes. Oh my god. Correcting for that.
I just want to throw that in there for you.
There we go. Now it's
I think most of you guys have worked on that and already said that, so. You should get 1 over 20 as P. Make sure you put the vertex in for the right coordinates and the point in for the right coordinates. Then you write the equation. So 4 over 20 is the same thing as 1 over 5 if you want to reduce it to that. Any questions?
So you'll be looking for like the final, like versus 1/5.
Either of these is correct. The book, like when you do the homework, again, they could give you a variety of information. So they might tell you this is the vertex and this is the equation of the directrix. Well, if you remember from your table, the directrix x equals means it's a certain direction, y equals means it's a certain direction, horizontal or vertical. So look at the table in your notes. And also P, again, is the distance from the vertex to the directrix or the vertex to the focus. So don't forget that vocabulary so you make sure you know what you have given to you. Any questions on these examples, though?